I feel like this one's a bit more obscure because I never see it on any other lists or even mentioned around Halloween, but I feel like it deserves much more recognition. The Halloween Tree is a book written by Ray Bradbury, and this is its animated adaptation. The script was written by Ray Bradbury? He even narrates the movie. Huh. How often does that happen? An author getting direct involvement in adapting their works into visual format. Interesting. I've never read the book, but I intend to. Honestly, if this film is any indication of what I'm looking forward to, I'm excited. The narration is chillingly good, and it really sets the mood wonderfully.
The greatest night of the year, better than Easter, better than Christmas, Halloween.
Oh, I can all kinds of attest to that. So the film follows a group of 4 friends that are preparing to go trick-or-treating. Tom, the skeleton, Ginny, the witch, Ralph, the mummy, and Wally, the monster. All of them seemingly anxious about the 5th member of their group, referred to as Pip.
Pip is really gonna love this.
Gotta go, can't keep Pip waiting.
Bet I'll even scare Pip.
Oh, Pip's gonna kill me for being late.
Ah, yes, Joe Pipkin. Some say that on the day he was born, all the soda pop bottles in the world fizzed over. Pipkin, who could yell louder, sing better, and eat more popcorn. Pip, the greatest boy who ever lived.
Huh, this Pipkin just sounds like a jack of all trades now, doesn't he? A Halloween lover, a great singer, a soda drinker. Too bad he's legit dead within the first 5 minutes. Legit, I'm not even yanking your chain. The kid is dead before we even get a chance to see what he looks like.
Oh, Pip.
Something about appendicitis?
Appendicitis?
You could die from that, right?
Well, yes, but more commonly the appendix will burst, leading to sepsis and... Look, why are you asking me? I'm not a doctor. He probably went into shock after his appendix exploded. You want to talk more about your dead friend?
P.S. Go ahead without me. I'll catch up. Ready, set, go?
Now sure, it starts off pretty dark, but it catches your interest very quickly. They make the decision to go to the hospital, hopefully to see him, by taking the shortcut through the ravine. I gotta say, the narration for this place is chilling. This guy really knows how to set a tone. The music is fantastic as well. It's all spooky and chorus-y. I love it.
The ravine. The ravine was filled with varieties of darkness, night, shadows, toad eyes and raven beaks, whispers and drippings which call, come, stay, hide here forever, never go, stay, stay.
So they head through the ravine and come across a house, now under the assumption that this is all an elaborate prank by Pipkin for all of them. Also, I just need to gush about the narration once more, okay? If I keep gushing about the narration, we'll be here all night just talking about how well Ray Bradbury can describe this film.
The house looked as if it had been cut out of black marble. With so many chimneys, the roof seemed a vast cemetery, each flue signifying the burial place of some old forgotten god of fire.
So they go into the house looking for Pipkin and find out that the house belongs to someone with a very familiar voice.
Oh, I really have no time for this.
It's Xehanort!
Keyblade!
I promise this Halloween isn't going to be all Kingdom Hearts references. It really is Leonard Nimoy though, I just wanted to point that out.
Mound Shroud is the name. Carapace clavicle Mound Shroud.
Time management? My god, he really is Xehanort. So in meeting Moundshroud, it seems he has a lot of hang-ups about the kids, specifically about how they choose to celebrate the holiday.
Know why you're wearing bones, boy? Bah! Didn't think so. Why so dressed up in an ancient mummy's rags? Why a monster's face? Why are you wearing a costume of a witch? All dressed up for All Hallows Eve, but you don't know why, or what, or even from where.
During the grilling, they stumble upon the ghost of Pipkin, who seems like he and Moundshroud had some sort of business to take care of. He escapes, and we get our first look at the eponymous Halloween tree as Pipkin ascends its branches.
A pumpkin tree.
No, a Halloween tree.
The pumpkins on the tree were not mere pumpkins. Each had a face sliced in it. Each face was different. 1,000 grimaces, and twice times 1,000 glares of fresh-cut eyes.
Pipkin's ghost snatches a jack-o'-lantern from the branches carved with his own face and manages to abscond, much to Moundshroud's chagrin. The four volunteer to help Moundshroud get the pumpkin back if they can bring Pipkin back with them. Moundshroud revels in the idea that he'll be able to educate them as well as reclaim lost property, and agrees to lead them on a search to find their lost friend.
Feast your eyes! 1,000 Halloweens wait out there to swallow us whole!
Yes, please. Moundshroud is so eccentric, he seems to be having fun the entire night, just going on this journey to teach some kids a lesson about the true meaning of Halloween, which is something that needs to be talked about more. Christmas specials are always going on about the true meaning of Christmas, but few Halloween specials talk about the true meaning of Halloween. Now would be a good time to point out this is a semi-educational film, giving some history to the celebrations that all conglomerated into what we know today as Halloween. They chase Pipkin back in time, firstly to ancient Egypt to understand the preparations of the dead and how death and the afterlife were treated back then. This is mainly Ralph's lesson, to understand the cultural significance as to why he's portraying mummification in his Halloween garb of choice. Part of me thinks that Moundshroud set up these events specifically for the education of the four. I mean, he's some sort of magic, so I wouldn't think it'd be impossible. It'd explain why an Egyptian from 4,000 years ago was speaking modern English.
Oh, he's been dead for 67 years. Once a year at the Feast of the Ghosts, we invite him out to sit with us.
Later on, Ralph finds Pipkin's mummified ghost because that just makes a whole bunch of sense, and has a heart-to-heart with him. Now, I like these scenes. Each of the four get a scene like this, and even though Pip doesn't have a lot of lines, these dialogues really flesh out his character and his relationship with each of them. There's a good sense of progression, with each character getting to speak their minds to their dead friend, as well as learn more about themselves and the holiday they celebrate.
Day is killed by night, summer by winter. Osiris the sun god destroyed by his brother Darkness.
Is that what the Egyptians thought of Halloween?
You tell me! You're a mummy, boy! Because that is how Egyptians dressed up their dead for eternity!
Pipkin eventually escapes his sarcophagus and escapes through time yet again. It's a bit formulaic, I must admit, but it works. Pipkin travels through time, they follow, one of the four learns a lesson about their costume's origins, and the group learns about Halloween. They find Pipkin before he escapes through time yet again. It's more based on character progression and the knowledge it's presenting. They stop in England to learn about witches and the celebration of Summer's End, then in France to see Notre Dame and the gargoyles that protect the cathedral from malicious spirits. If nothing else, all this historical information is fascinating, and it's all presented in a very interesting way. Off script, it actually made me look into, Halloween history and stuff. It's really fascinating. I feel like it's mainly carried by the colors and style of it all. It looks good, and it's got interesting stories to tell.
Fun and games are over!
No, they're not. Follow me if you can. Ready, set, go!
Their final stop is in modern-day Mexico. This one everyone knows about. Dia de los Muertos is much more widely known today than ever. Ever since I was young, those sugar skulls always looked delicious, and I've always wanted to try one. Maybe I'll try to figure something out and make them for my friends and I. A lot of this film has to do with death, the fear of death, trying to avoid death, accepting death, etc. And that can be seen nowhere more prominently than in the ghost of Pipkin. The mummification, trapped in the crypt, being trapped in stone, all very still and symbolic. Pipkin is dead. There's no avoiding the fact.
I'm dying.
You tried, Wally. All of you did. Keep running. Escape. We'll follow.
Gotta go now, Wally. I have to stay. I'm trapped. Oh, Pip, don't die. I'm sorry. So sorry. All of this tonight is my fault. I once wished for something to happen to you so I could be leader for a change.
And be glad, oh so glad you are alive!
I feel like there's a misconception of the celebration of death in our culture. So many people see it as morose or ill-intended, like it's a celebration of the loss of life, but that couldn't be further from the truth. A celebration of death isn't a celebration of the loss of life, but the celebration that those lost were alive in the first place.
Tell me, why do you wear bones, skeleton?
Maybe if we face death eyeball to eyeball, it loses its power over us? It can't scare us.
Excellent, Tom!
As for the ending, the significance of Pipkin's jack-o'-lantern, and what Moundshroud is supposed to be, I'm not going to spoil it. It all wraps up very satisfyingly though. I'd say it's worth a watch if you can find it, especially if you haven't seen it before. The animation has some weirdness to it every now and again, and the voice acting is a bit less than impressive, but whatever. It got me thinking about a lot of things, and it was generally a very enjoyable film.
I thank you for a most amusing and profitable evening.